would like to welcome our CEO for the reveal of the product, Tue Mantoni. Welcome.
So, welcome everyone. I hope you're ready for some exciting news from Bang Olufsen. Ready to see a product that we've been working on for a little while that we're super excited about showing you tonight. And as Jens just said, you will be the first people outside our factory to see it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as we have. And there'll be people who can show you all the details about the design and the sound and how we work on it during the evening. And let me just show you a couple of quick charts, and I promise you this is not going to be death by PowerPoint. This is going to be a really brisk just walkthrough of the thinking that we had when we created the product. See, first of all, this is a pretty simple chart. It's easy to understand. This is how we looked at the market when we started thinking about doing what you're going to see today, which is a surround sound system. Really the first venture of Bang Olufsen into a dedicated surround sound system. And we looked at the market. We said, on one dimension you could focus on design, the other dimension you could focus on acoustic performance. And there's nothing really mysterious in this. You can either have poor sound or amazing sound. You can have unattractive design, or you can have beautiful design. We're not going to do a little quiz on where we've placed our product just yet, but we actually did look at the market and we found a couple of different places where other companies decided to place their products. And first of all, we found a lot of really great sounding systems that are mainly for the audiophile to either place and hide away or put under the sofa in terms of the subwoofer. Or we also found products that were at the other end with absolutely beautiful design, but where the sound performance was not as strong. And it's not a coincidence really that products end up in these two areas. And the reason why they end up here is because you obviously have this fight between the person who wants the product to look great, the designer, and the person who wants the product to sound great, the engineer. And this is really getting us to the story about Bang Olufsen and what Bang Olufsen is all about. Because in many ways, BeoLab 14, which you're about to see, epitomizes what we have been known for the last many years, which is this, in some ways, fight between the designer and the acoustic engineer and the engineer in general. This fight that goes on during the development of a product, the positive energy that's created when the designer says, I want it smaller and I want it more compact, and the acoustic engineer says, I just want more volume. And what you have the opportunity to do today is to meet those two exact people, the designer and the acoustic engineer. You can ask them how that whole process has been going on. But one of the things that we really put a big emphasis on is to let that energy be created through conflict between the designer and the acoustic engineer, and at the end of the day create the perfect product. So what you're going to see today is BeoLab 14. And BeoLab 14 is, I think, an exciting product. We're going to talk a little bit more about it, but the first thing I will do is I will show you BeoLab 14. Let's have a look at it. So here it is. BeoLab 14 is a surround sound system from Bang Olufsen. I'll show you a big picture of it here. It's a system that consists of a subwoofer, and it consists of some small parts that obviously are the speakers. We have worked a lot on the design. We have the designer here today. Obviously, his mission has been to create something that will fit into the home, fit into the interior design of someone who wants great sound, and in a second you'll get a chance to listen to it, but at the same time does not want technology to take over his home. Someone who really wants the performance of a strong subwoofer, but at the end of the day doesn't want to shove that away onto the sofa. Torsten will tell you a lot about where the inspiration comes from. He'll talk about the lightness of the pots. He'll talk about the power of the subwoofer. I'll just show you one thing which I think is exciting, which we're very proud of, which is really there's been a wish from the designer side to create a product which is very refined, without any welding seams, without any parting lines. And I'll just show you a little piece of our process in terms of how we create the product. And this is where I think the craftsmanship of Bang Olufsen comes in. This is how we start when we create the speaker. This is a solid piece of aluminum, and it's one piece. And the reason why it's one piece is then you can create a speaker that doesn't have, again, the welding lines or the parting lines. We then exert pressure to this piece, and we exert about 70 tons of pressure onto the aluminum ring, and that creates this shape. With that 70 tons, and 70 tons is about the weight of a Boeing 747, simply placed onto the ring. We turn it around, and then we exert the pressure one more time. And after doing that, we turn it. And the reason why we turn it is obviously so we get the perfection of the shape. And then at the end of the day, we take it through the anodization. We have it sort of equates to an Olympic swimming pool, a 50-meter anodization pool. I wouldn't recommend swimming in it, but what we do is we take these beautiful rings through it and give this absolutely beautiful surface. And through that process, we create a speaker which is, in one way, the cabinet, but at the same time also the structure. So we don't have to waste space inside and creating a structure for the speaker, and therefore all the space that's inside is used for creating sound. So this was a big wish from the designer, and something that has been possible through the process that we have created here. The system comes in this shape. You can obviously also attach it to your TV. You can listen to music through it. You can attach it to your TV. One of the really conscious choices that we have made is that this would work with any third-party TV. So not only with a Bang Olufsen TV, but also with third-party TVs. And this is in some ways, those of you who have followed us for a long time will say this is a new thinking. It's a new way of thinking about surround sound systems and speakers, but it's a very conscious decision. I'll try to explain why. Our TV business is a great little niche business. It's a business that we enjoy a lot, but at the end of the day, it's a small business. We only sell 30,000 TVs a year. So imagine doing a surround sound system where the target audience globally is only 30,000 potential customers. See, the TV market, I mean, obviously at the end of the day, we would love to sell 30,000 of these to our existing customers or to our TV customers. But if you look at the total TV market, there's about 200 million TVs sold every single year. See, if we only position ourselves towards, let's say, the top 5% of that, we still have a target audience of about 10 million. Even if we only reach about 1% of that, we'll still reach 3 times as many as if we were only looking at Bang Olufsen TVs. And that's why we created a system where if you add a 5th speaker to it, which becomes the center speaker, obviously Bang Olufsen TVs all have sound built in, but therefore you don't need the center speaker. But if you buy this system, you can get a 5+1 and you can get a center speaker with it. You can attach it to any third-party TV, and thereby opening up the world of Bang Olufsen sound to a significantly bigger audience. Very conscious decision that we have done that. We also have worked on placement options, because at the end of the day, the surround sound system is something that needs to fit into the home. It's something that both the man and the woman needs to enjoy, and it has to fit in with the interior. And we have created a multitude of options for placing them. You can place them on the stand, like what you see here. You can place them hanging from the ceiling. You can place them on a bookshelf, and you can even place them on the wall. So again, in the Bang Olufsen philosophy of working with your interior design, creating as many options as possible for placing them, but never hiding them away, always placing them on display. The same goes for the subwoofer, which is a system that has been created to get as much performance out of as small a floor area as possible. And that's where the inspiration for the shape has come in, and talks to when we take you through the design can talk even more about it. So the good news is it's available from today. And if you look at the price, I think for a Bang Olufsen high-performance system of beautiful design, we have a very fair price. We have tonight events at all our dealerships across the world where people will come in and listen to the system and hopefully be as excited about it as we are. So I wish you a great evening. I wish you a good listening session and a good time with both Torsten and Jeff. And now I'll hand over to Jens. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tue. How do you market a surround system? A couple of months back, we announced a strategic cooperation with Universal Music International. Here in London, just some weeks back, we actually launched our new headphones. And now we have yet another opportunity to do a cooperation with the biggest label in the world. There is a blockbuster, been in the market for a while, called Les Miserables. Les Miserables is a fantastic film and musical, but what makes it really truly unique for Bang Olufsen is the way it was produced. As you might know, the producer was very keen on getting the true emotions from the artist recording the musical. This is interesting for us because it's very close to the DNA we have in our sound design. We are also designing our music and our sound as the artist intended to. Jeff Martin will tell you more about that later when you will hear it on the BeoLab 14s. But from a marketing perspective, this is obviously a really truly great opportunity to let our consumers enjoy it. So we have, in cooperation with Universal Music, produced a unique DVD with the soundtrack specially produced and mixed for our system, for the BeoLab 14s. And you will have an opportunity to hear that in the suites, like I said, further on. So we want to do this because we really want to say that we think with this product we can relive the category of surround sound. Not only for film viewing, but for listening as well. With a very rich listening experience you can almost visualize if you've been to the theater or others. And this is a little bit of the feeling we will leave you with in the big room here, so that you will now see how on a little bit bigger speaker this year, but you will hear them on the 14 up in the suite, but just give you that feeling of what true surround can bring if you mix it well. So, should we bring it on? That was my cue, but it might have missed. Might fell asleep. Let's see. Should we bring on the film? It's coming. Excellent. So hold on now. This is a sensorial.
And I think maybe it's, the funny thing is, these are not white walls, no. But somehow it's time to take, it takes up a little bit, and you know, the small one on very long stick needs a very big foot to stand. Sure. And I don't want them to be, yeah, sure, impacted. Yes.